To discuss an introduction to oneness today. So Humanities Team is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and if we could boil our mission down into a single clause, it is to promote oneness. Now, we're often asked, what is oneness? What does oneness mean? Why should I care about oneness? And so that is the point of our discussion today, to show that oneness has a pretty substantial impact on the way that we see things and our experience at large. So I'd like to start us off with a conceptual understanding of oneness. So we live in a world, a society with so many factions, so many groups and perspectives and schools of thought, many of which seem to be mutually exclusive. If I'm in this group, that means that I'm not in that group. And so there's no overlap between us. So how can we possibly, as a society, unite behind any single one thing? Well, what about the idea of unity? What about the idea of oneness? Surely we can all agree that together, united, we're all better off. This is oneness. It's the idea that we can agree upon one thing, that we can all come to agreement that we are here, that we are made of the same stuff, and we're stronger together. So this idea of oneness starts as an idea. It is something that starts as a simple idea that changes the way that we see things, which brings things into our own experience and has very definite measurable results in our experience. So this idea becomes much more powerful than just an idea. So I'd like to open up the table for a discussion as to how this idea translates into experience and how it benefits us in our work life and personal life. So Dee, I'd like to start with you perhaps. How does oneness impact the operations of a team?
Thanks, Tim. So oneness is an energy, and so it's collectively built upon by the group. And so our group has set intentions to attract the perfect team. And I can say for a fact that this has happened. I have been here for, I think, 11 or 12 years now. And Nanette brought me in, and I was her right hand for a very, very long time. And in turn, I have brought in you and Karen and Garth and Christine. Actually, no, I did not bring in Christine. Nanette did. So, but we've attracted this amazing team, and each of the members of this team are bringing the perfect pieces that were needed to make everything work in a beautiful way, synergistically. So back to you, Tim.
Absolutely. And it's what's really incredible is how oftentimes it's just an effortless, we've set the intention and we're staying true to oneness, and it's it's not so much effort. It just comes our way. It's in a seemingly mysterious way. Absolutely
true. Yeah.
So, Garth, how does oneness in the developments of what we build a lot of web-based platforms and structure. So how does oneness also in terms of customer service, how does oneness manifest in your understanding of this?
Well, thanks for asking, Tim. I think of oneness, or one way to think of oneness is cooperation. So by cooperating, all of us, doing their jobs at the right time, then the whole puzzle can be put together easily and effortlessly. This would include writing and editing and doing customer support and building web pages and creating videos and translations, and there are myriad pieces to the puzzle. But when there is good cooperation and communication among us, then the oneness prevails.
Absolutely. So speaking of communication, thank you, Garth. Karen, how do we communicate oneness? How is oneness communicated from Humanities Team?
Right. So just building upon what's been said already, we show up as a team and we share this value of oneness or togetherness. And so that's amongst ourselves. And at Humanities Team, communication is also about how we're communicating to our audience through our emails, through our Facebook pages, and other ways. And I'm thinking right now of this, it's like a slogan or a motto that we use around here a lot, and it's be kind, not right. Now, Dee mentioned, we're all pieces. We all bring our own abilities and passions to the organization. And, we can get strong about what we think about something, and we should be strong about what we think about something because we each have an important role to play here, which makes the organization run so well in love. But sometimes we need to just soften a stance and be kind and not right, because the kindness is the connection. The kindness is a representation of this value that we stand for, that we bring to each other every time we meet, like in a Zoom gathering such as this, and in all of our email communications as well. Because what we're really wanting to do here is keep our hearts open with each other and in our communications that go out into the world. So thanks for asking, Tim.
Thank you, Karen, for communicating with us. And Christine, how is oneness shared across the world regions through different cultures and different languages?
For me, in the Humanities Team world regions, people are inspired by the unity consciousness that Neil writes about in his Conversations with God books. And it's always the books that bring people into Humanities Team. They just love Neil, and they want to spread the word of Conversations with God throughout the world. And for me personally, it's having the courage to live, like Karen said, with an open heart, and to have faith, divine faith, that I'm a unique piece of the puzzle, like Garth said, and that I have a place and nobody else can be me. I'm a unique aspect of the divine source. And, I'm always tender with the innocent being that closed down her heart very early on, because living in the third dimension was scary. But, we've moved out of the third dimension now, and we're, there's no going back, and we're at a very sacred time on our planet. And I'm very, very grateful to be part of Humanities Team, and to be the open heart that the earth is really crying out for. And in English, earth and heart are the same letters. So, yeah. And I love being in Humanities Team, and I love you all.
We love you too, Christine. Thank you for sharing. And Nanette, you've been around Humanities Team for some time now. I'm wondering if you can give us maybe how oneness has impacted your own life, your own personal life through this all.
Thank you, Tim. I think one of the first things I want to mention is because not everybody is at a level where they can want to look into what the word oneness means. I always tell people it's the golden rule in essence, and it's been translated into languages all over the world. most religions have some form of that golden rule. And I think that's far more tangible, easy to understand than when we get into the kind of conversation where we might all say things a certain way, but you may lose people on the way. And right now I'm residing in a convalescent center because I broke my hip a couple months ago. And I've realized that oneness is a big deal in this place. And part of that big deal is we have all, the spectrum hits on every level. Don't believe in oneness or the golden rule at all, to people that, really do believe in the golden rule. They may not call it oneness, but they really choose to act with kindness rather than, being rude or mean or cruel. And lest anybody think that's listening that we think we've got it all figured out in the oneness category, we don't think that. We're not walking on water, and we've got a lot to learn ourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nanette, for sharing with us. And we are fortunate to be blessed with the presence of Ephraim. So Ephraim, would you mind giving us maybe some closing thoughts as to oneness, what oneness means with you, with your own experience in the team or just in life in general?
All right. Thank you so much, and sorry for joining a bit late. For
Right on time.
me, I've worked in other establishments, and I can clearly see the difference in how humanities team approaches even every task that we do. For a lot of instances, you'd have people who are in competition. You have people who are, in a lot of regards, even condescending, But in humanities team, what I've come to observe and what makes me appreciate the team and gives me a sense of a replica of what I would consider as being oneness is, one, you look at the willingness of every member to support. It doesn't matter what your challenge is. When you approach and say, you call D, you call Karen, you call Tim, whoever it is, and say, having a challenge with this, do you know how I can address it? What tends to happen is that they put everything else they're doing on hold and try to sort you out before they go back to what you're doing. And for me, it means that you are even putting the other person ahead of your values or what interests you at that point in time. The Bible says, the least, what you do for whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, you do unto me. You get it? So for me, for one to be that selfless, what else can it be but a sense of oneness? The team is supportive, the team is contributory. So whatever you're doing, you say, I'm doing this, what are your thoughts about it? You'd always get an instance where somebody will tell you what they think about it, and it's always to help you do better and be better. And for me, that speaks volumes. I mean, you're not worried about your deficiencies because your team will support you, and you always do your best to support somebody else. So it's kind of symbiotic. Constantly, we are helping each other to do better. So naturally, we would evolve and become better. So for me, that's. I mean, every time I think about what we do, it's beyond my thought. I don't know, but it's outstanding to me, and constantly. I mean, I remember some time back when I was unwell, Dee was worried that maybe I had second thoughts about the team, and she asked, "What do you think?" I'm sensing a sense of lack of engagement or commitment. I said, "No, don't worry about me, because I enjoy what I'm doing. I'll always be here. Don't ever worry about that." So for me, I don't know what would make me not want to be here, because I enjoy what I do and I'd always want to be part of the team. So for me, it's always an ever growing and ever evolving thing. And I love to do what I do and love to be here, always. Thank you.
Thank you, Ephraim, very much. And I'd just like to echo this thought that it seems like we've all shared in some form about the puzzle, how we're a piece of this puzzle. And oneness is keeping in mind that we're a piece of the puzzle, and the puzzle is the whole, which brings us back to our true identification, because we're a piece, but we're a part of the puzzle at large. So Thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope that oneness is a bit more clear, a bit clearer now.